Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Rocks. Tracy here, and I've not done a whip along for a while. In fact, I've not done many videos apart from the essential ones because I had a really nasty virus. So what happened before I was really bad, I bought some yarn and I showed it on my channel and did a swatch up of it. And the swatch I did was of a kind of a giant granny square, just to show how far the yarn went. And I thought, you know what, I'm just going to like it so much. It's so pretty. I just thought I'd carry on with it and make a blanket. So that's what I've been doing. And I'm quite a way in, as you can see. But I'm going to finish this last ball. So I think this is my fourth, because they come in a pack of 4 when I bought them, like this. And there was 4 in there. And if you haven't seen my video, it's called Fairyland, and this is the yarn. And because it's really pretty, I was asked if I could get it for my shop, and I've ordered some. So it's not from somewhere that I've ever bought from before. And I noticed there was this little disclaimer that said, if we don't have the stock, with your permission, we'll send you substitutes. And I thought, no, that's not going to be giving that kind of permission. Thank you very much. I want the actual, I don't know if I can move this, I want the actual yarn. Why do I want to move it? Got a big cup of tea. And I need room for the tea and room for the wall genie, which is here. So I said today that I would do a live in the garden if I can, if not in here. And I really want to do that, but I don't know. It's a bit of an experiment, this, how much I need to cough, blow nose, or go. Usually this morning it's been plaguing me, but we'll see. So here we go. I'm going to show you as far as it will go. What does that say, for goodness sake? Probably, do I want more angles? That's what it usually says. I need to put these on anyway. See what I'm doing, kind of. Okay, not that I can't see without them, but it's just sort of better with them. Tea's in the way. Tea is in the way. I've got to keep my phone handy. My car is in the shop, and it might, if I put that there we go. Cool. Right, yeah, my car is in the shop, and I just want to make sure that's not a knot. So I might need to get a phone call at any time telling me, because it's having what we have in England, the UK, probably in the rest of the British Isles, is the same, although sometimes our laws and stuff are a bit different. It's an MOT, so it's a certificate of roadworthiness, really. And it has to have all these little things that it passes. And the last few years have been really, it's been really good. It's not failed. And it just needs silly little niggly things that were cheap to do. So I'm kind of hoping that this year sort of follows that trend, really. Because I've had so much expense lately, I could do without that. You know, with... I have had, for some reason, and I think it's because of kind of when I moved here, or when Gary and I got together, it seems that I pay for his car and he pays for mine, but not when it comes to MOTs. So Gary's road tax and insurance were due, so I had to pay for those. And now my MOT, so it's like me being really unlucky lately. And then, of course, we had Paul's birthday and Paul's birthday meal out. So that was another chunk. So, yeah, all in all, it's been quite an expensive month for me. Gary paid for the aircon to be done on the house. So that was fine. It was because we had it serviced and it had got a little bit of a blockage. So he paid that. But so, yeah, that's one expense I didn't have. But all the rest were mine. So lucky me, huh? So normally speaking, when I do a granny, I don't even need to look at it, so I don't really know why. When I'm filming, I always do. It's a bit weird really, because usually I watch television and I don't look. Oh, look at all that mess. It's not really mess. It's things I've been working on and stuff. It's very heavy, I have to say now already. It's quite dense. The reason for that, I'm using a 4mm. Nope, this is a 4.5. I lied. But it's still quite small kind of stitches, if you like. But ooh, but went in the wrong place. Maybe I do need to watch what I'm doing. So it's quite a mixture of, I haven't got the band in front of me and I didn't really want to get those out, but it's got quite a lot of cotton in it, and cotton, acrylic and wool blend really. It's very, very soft, and the colours are just gorgeous in this. Love this one a lot. It's really, 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 really pretty. Spinning like a good one there. It's not very much wool though. I think it's only about I think it's like 10% or less. Can't remember the exact proportions, but yeah, it's not a lot. It's not rough or anything. It's beautiful. You could definitely use it for a baby. So I just decided to carry on with the square. So it's going to be a square. I've never really made square blankets. I've only ever done rectangles or circles, but I've never actually made square ones in my time. I guess I must have done one, just carried on making a square, but if so, I don't have it. It's not really one I've kept, or must have been for somebody. I'm not sure. So I'm hoping to be able to do the live that I said I would do, because obviously if I have to pick up my car, it's going to impact on my time. And I won't be able to be in two places at once. So yeah, that's the only thing really that could and I thought I would do it in the garden, and it's going to be outrageously hot here today. And when I say outrageously, it's going to be about, I think, 32 to 34 degrees, maybe even up to 36 they said, perhaps tomorrow. Ridiculous really for the UK. I know we've reached 40 before, 41. But still, don't want it. I like it warm, but you know, does give my nose an itch. Because it is hairy. It's not massively hairy. You can probably see that there is that little fluff on it. That is what does it to me. But, you know, it's so beautiful, I forgive it. It's just gorgeous. It's not like it's flying off either, so the bits that are kind of probably getting up my nose are not even noticeable to the naked eye. This really hurts my arm, actually. It's keeps it in an unnaturally high place for crocheting. Actually guys, maybe I can be a bit higher. You'll see less of my head, but that's not a bad thing, is it? Now my arm is not quite so high. Should have thought of that before. Oh well, thought of it now, that's what matters. It was only the pain, the ache, should I say. It's not really pain, it was just a bit of an ache. Kind of said to me, this isn't a good height for your arm, you know. So what have you been working on, guys? Anything? This week I'm a little delayed. It's typical really, because the last thing I said was I managed to get ahead of making my tutorials on a stay ahead and actually get a couple of weeks in advance or something on them, so that I'm not always playing catch up. And I had the perfect opportunity to get ahead, because I had lots of time on my own for recording. And it just seems that whenever I make a plan along those lines, or maybe Christmas, I'm going to do this, and this, something comes along and just says, oh no, you're not. we've got other plans for you. You're going to get amoebic dysentery. You won't be able to do anything but moan. Or, you know, maybe a cold virus. Well, actually, it wasn't. It was a sore throat. And then it was a little cough. It went straight to my chest. There's hardly any cold in it. Thank goodness. I'm just going to give it a rest for a while I drink this tea, because it's going to get cold. And I've got some water, should I need a drink. But I really need the tea. Really need the tea. I've put the aircon on. It's just starting to waft through here. And boy, do I need it today. So glad we got it fixed. When it was out, it wasn't really broken. It was dripping. So the pipe that takes it, the water that it, like the moisture it takes out of the air, away, or whatever process it has, was blocked. So it just kept dripping, and it was really dripping a lot. So yeah, he took it all apart and cleaned it all out, and he was really thorough. And I got him to do, even though they were fine, I got him to do the buns in the bedrooms. So it all is in tip-top condition now. And lovely, absolutely. But I knew when I spoke to him, it was the 25th, because it's Paul's birthday. And he said, oh, I can get out to you Saturday. And I thought, you're joking. That's days away. But I dug out my fans, and I only really needed one in the living room. So that was a godsend. And it wasn't too difficult to cope. But I knew that today and tomorrow were going to be the hottest days. We're going to gradually increase in temperature until it was unbearable, basically. So I'm so glad it's fixed. I said this, oh, shall I give these fans away? Maybe, whatever, if, you know, one day maybe it will break down or something. Maybe I should keep them. Thank goodness I did. I think I would have, I just had to have sat in a cold bath for a day or two. I used to do that, cool myself down. Sit in a cool bath. Either that or go swimming. Cheers, guys. I'm going to quickly dispose of this tea. Not that easy, actually. But I'm going to put it over there, so it's out of the way. Yay! More space. So this chair gradually works its way down. So I might have to hike it up again a bit later. So yeah, how have you been then? Have you been well? I hope you have been weller than I have. Weller is a word. I just made it up. More well. Weller. Yeah. So consequently though, with all that, I was out of action and unable to even think about stitches for the crochet along or the square. So I'm just getting back into that now, where I'm thinking about what one's next. And I've just got to film them as well, you know, so it might be a tad behind, but then again I might pull it round, you know, because I'd thankfully, as I said, got ahead before. So all the time I was ill during Paul's birthday and everything, I didn't need to make any videos that, well, I did. I mean, I made my chat. If you haven't found that, it's Have a Yarn with Tracy, and I do one every day. So I made that, of course, and giveaways, but the rest of them, they just all had to kind of wait, because I was coughing, spluttering and sniffing. Oh no, I don't sniff, but you know, blowing and croaking and feeling generally very, very sorry for myself. And yeah, they suck, don't they, when you get viruses, especially in the summer. You know, they're bad enough anytime, but summertime, ugh, miserable. So Gary and I this morning, we took my car in and I popped in a couple of shops with Gary because he decided that we're going to have hot dogs and burgers today. We're not dieting at the minute, guys. Not until this virus has gone. And then I'm going to think, well, I'm going to plan what I'm starting over the next few days, really. But yeah, we took the car in, popped in a shop, and I bought some yarn, which I will show on my vlog. So tomorrow's chat, basically, we'll have that yarn, and it's beautiful. It's really nice. So I will show that then. And then we popped to the farm shop, and my ex-husband was in there. And it seems to me that whenever we go shopping, we kind of bump into him. And it's almost like he's not stalking us or anything. Gary said, I think you secretly ring him and tell him to meet us. No. How would I know we were going to be in there at that time? I think he was joking, you know, but it is weird that I think it's because he's addicted to shopping. He is a shopaholic, but he's usually a shopaholic for things like, you know, fruit and veg and going in the pound shops and stuff like that. So consequently, we do see room for a lot of him because he's always in some shop or another, and occasionally those shops are the same as the shops we're in. Seen him in Sports Direct before, loads and loads of shops like pound shops, and you know, we even went to Hempstead Valley Shopping Centre and saw him once or twice. So he just gets everywhere, wherever there are shops. So that was weird. Anyway, what else did we do? That's it, really. And Gary is out there now doing some DIY. I bet you couldn't guess that one, could you, really? Even in the heat, he's out there. What he's doing now is because Gary and his brothers have done the back of the yarn van. I will show it one of these days when I get, you know, a bit more on my feet and I'm out and about. But they've done that, and we had extra stuff because it's basically just cladding, and we're going to do it in our conservatory and the long passage, and it will be wipeable, you know, kind of stuff. And because this house does get a lot of dust because of those the unmade road. So yeah, that's going to go in there. So he's cutting it all to size. That's what he's going to be doing out there. And I thought that's another thing. If I do an outside live stream, I've got Gary's, or worse, when he cuts those, it goes as well as zzz. So yeah, it wouldn't be that the good soundtrack, would it, to a live? But that's what he's doing. He's also going to be cutting the grass over the next day or so. He's mowing the grass. I've got to mow his head. He wants me to cut his hair, which I use I was going to say a strimmer. Clipper. I use clippers for. So he'll mow the grass and I'll mow his head. Yeah, that time again. His head needs mowing. Anyway, so yeah, the outside live may come off, or it may be too noisy or too darn hot to be out there. So we're just going to play it by ear. If it's too, you know, if it's not suitable, I would do it in here and out there another time, maybe when he's at work and I'm alone and it's not like roasting. So yeah, I love this yarn. So lovely, really nice. The only thing I don't like about using a variegated yarn like this for something like this is the size of the panels just gets smaller and smaller as you get further in, unless you manipulate the yarn colours, which I obviously haven't done. But yeah, if they made a ball where the centre had a certain amount and it just got bigger, the amount, as you just designed for granny squares. You know, with Red Heart making all these granny square yarns, you'd think they'd think of one that would make a really good rectangle granny and keep the panels similar sizes. Maybe I should write to them and let them know that's a good idea and that they should do it. Just for us crocheters that do grannies. Anyway, all orders that have come in have gone out, so no postman coming. Apart from the fact that I keep forgetting to send some of my things back to the shop and a couple of things that I want to post off. I got a message from Paul the other day saying, here's a Christmas present idea I quite like. So yeah. Actually, I've already started ages ago, because as soon as Christmas was over, Gary was saying, I want this for next year. I want this. And they were things you have to buy now. So I've got a bit of a collection going on in the cupboard. In the cupboard of all presents for Christmas. And there's one in there for Victoria, but it'll probably end up being a birthday present, because that's first. I've got a couple in there for Harley's birthday, and Michael should be finding out today what I can get Tyler for his birthday. I'll have to remind him, because he will forget, probably. Wow, I love these colours. They are just so pretty. I love the yellow. This ball doesn't have any. It's weird, isn't it? There's not any yellow in this part. But I thought, you know, that might, in a way, mean there's more of the other colours to make the bands a bit wider. Don't know for sure, of course. And I'm not really sure what I'm going to do about edging. You know, whether I'll just put white on it or what really, or just maybe this whole thing, just use it as it is and make a border. I don't know. What do you think, guys? What would you do if this was your blanket? How would you edge it? Would you edge it in white? Let's hold it up and show you. I made that stitch a bit long. Okay, here we go. What would you edge it with? I think actually edging it in that yellow would be lovely, but I don't know. What do you say? I mean, obviously there's no white in it, but white always seems to be a good edging colour. But I think that yellow, if I could find a similar yellow in my stash, that would be actually very cool. Can't find any in that ball, that's for sure. I can see a little knot coming. There have been a couple of them where they've had a knot, but you know what, however they join yarn, whenever you come across a join, you always have to do your own knot, don't you, anyway, and your own method. But there have been one or two, I'd say, but I have used 4 skeins, and I can't say it's like overly annoying the amount I've had. You know, it's just been a couple. That looks weird. I know why, because there was a yarn join there. This will hide it. So are you watching anything good in box sets or on Netflix, Prime, Paramount, Disney? What good series are there? We have finished Andor and we watched Rogue One, and we've been sort of steadily going through the Star Wars films after that. But we need a new series. And I know that there's going to be a new series of Landman at some point. I'm looking forward to that. Do love me a bit of Billy Bob. So, yeah, looking forward to that one. But I don't know if there's any other series. We have watched rather a lot of series, but hopefully you guys will recommend something I haven't seen and we'll get to watch it. Yeah, I love things like that. And Reacher, we've watched all of those so far, and all the Yellowstones and the other ones, the spin-offy ones, the prequels, we watched those. Tulsa King, love that. So yeah, anything, all the British ones like Trigger Point and Line of Duty, Call of Duty, Line of Duty, isn't it? Yeah, the Call of Duty is a game. All kinds of, that one with the deaf girl, what's it called? Can't remember. Wasn't called that, but I don't remember. And that was good. All those sort of things. Happy Valley was amazing. The Fall was even better. So yeah, loved all of those. And I'm in need of a good thing to get my teeth into. Well, both of us are at the moment, but I always, you know, if it's not something Gary would like, I just watch it when he's not there, when he goes to bed early. Although he's started new hours at work, so he doesn't have to, he doesn't get as tired, I don't think. It's a bit hard to say at the moment. He's only just started it, and now he's got this virus. And before he had this virus, he had a bit of gastric flu, or food poisoning. We weren't sure which. As I didn't catch it, I guess it was food poisoning. But so he was in bed with that for a couple of days and asleep most of the time. So we've been a bit under the weather ourselves lately. This just looks so nice. I love this. I've got another 8 of them in my stash. So, and I ordered what I could from the wholesaler. And I got a message from this lady, one of my subscribers. I won't name them, but she said, hopefully it won't be as expensive as the one I got in your shop. So I said, oh, how much did you pay? And it was, from, believe it or not, from a shop that is usually renowned for being cheap, but it really wasn't. They really ripped her off for the price of it. And I think I've had that myself a couple of times, where you just, you know, you think, put that in your basket, and when you look, what you thought was a pack or something isn't. You know, they really do whip you off. So got to keep my eye on the time, and I've got my phone on loud, so hopefully it won't ring while I'm talking to you guys, but you never know. And I'll have to answer it, obviously, because I need to know how much my car will be, or if it's got anything wrong with it, so that they tell me beforehand, so I can say, yes, go ahead and fix it, or, oh, I'll get that done when I get paid, sort of thing, you know. So I'm waiting to hear from them, so I just have to answer that phone if it rings. Unfortunately, it might not be them, it might be a scammer. I had a scammer come through in my shop the other day, mentioned it on one of my videos. It actually came through on my email to my shop, and it was pretending they were a bank, a TSB bank. And obviously there were links in it to click in and do something on my account. It's like, yeah, if this is wrong, please click here. Yeah, of course. Some people, though, must fall for these things because it looked genuine. You know, it really did look like it came from the TSB. But, you know, I think sometimes they do that, and the person gets into a bit of a panic. And because they're in that kind of panicky flight stage, they can't think straight. And they don't think logically, oh, let's just check this email address out, you know. And they must actually panic some people into doing it, which is really sad when you think about it. Whenever I open anything, I just look at it and think scam. And the trouble is, I miss out on probably opportunities. You know, when I see that people collaborate with big brands and things like that, and I think if you ever got asked, you delete them, because usually, though, I get this thing come through and say, we really love your videos, we would love to work with your brand, we feel that you could enhance we're just so brilliantly matched. And then you look and it's like, oh yeah, engine oil, yeah, really. Obviously it wouldn't be engine oil, but it would be something that was ridiculous, even in the crochet yarn kind of genre, to say, oh, I'm just going to endorse this. You know, it was nothing whatsoever to do with it, but as ridiculous as me doing engine oil. So yeah, most of them go consigned straight to the bin. I must miss out on genuine ones. There was one once where they asked me to review their yarn, and it was glow in the dark yarn. And I thought, oh, I don't know. I said, you know, all you have to do, you're going to have to pay for the yarn. We'll send it to you. All we ask is that you do a review on it. Really, they wanted me to review it and plug their shop. And I was in two minds about it, and I left it. And then about a month later, I started seeing other YouTubers doing that video. And I thought, oh, that one was genuine. But I didn't do it. I always just worry. Here we go, I've got the knot. Just before the end as well. That's a bit annoying. Never mind. Let's just put that out there. It is usually when it doesn't do it every time, obviously, but whenever it does, in the 4 balls, I've only had about 2 or 3, but it's always where the colour would just change. So obviously when they're winding it off their giant spools, it comes to an end, and they just attach another one. But you know, it's not too annoying. Hardly really noticeable. But the good thing is, it's at a corner, so I can bury these tails a bit more in my own weird way that I have for doing it. Yeah. I did show it on a few videos. I don't like to confuse people, but I have shown it. I hate sewing in, so, you know, if there's a way around sewing, I take it. Yep, gotta be done. Yeah, and also, I've just done a video on my no turning chain when working in a square or, well, no turning chain. I've just done an update for that. And if I can remember, I'll put a link at the end of the video for that, because it is pretty cool, really. Okay, drop in the towel now. Worked over that enough. And continue on. Well, what they should have done at that point there is attach yellow, obviously. They didn't. On this one particular scheme. Can't remember if it had any at the start. I don't think it did. Anyway, it matters not. It does not matter a jot. Matters not a jot. Knock it off. Okay. I can hear Gary, and as he came in, he spoke then, so made me wonder if he was trying to talk to me and realised, you see, if the door's shut, he usually thinks, ah, she's filming. I said I'd get one of those little lights on air, you know. So he knows not to come in. Sometimes he brings tea, and I don't mind that. But I made him a pot of coffee. He probably came in just to get that. I forgot that I wasn't in there to talk to. Yeah. So yeah, I'm thinking it's so much nicer sitting up this high. No aches and pains at all. Cool, huh? And I feel like this virus is definitely on its way out now, because apart from when you first wake up and you've got lots of sniffing and blowing and all that sort of thing, it's not been too bad. I thought doing this video would be a good kind of benchmark to see how I could do a live stream. And I really want to do it because I put it on my wall and you know, announced it, sort of thing. I love this. Wow. See, it's not too sad because there's yellows in there, but I think it would also mean that there'll be a bit more of these colours, so it would just make those bands a bit wider, which I think would be a good thing anyway. Defo. But I do have more if I wanted to keep going and make this even bigger. I've still got another 8 hint. I've got 4 there. Do you know what? I might have I might even have more than that, maybe. I think I either bought 3 packs of 4 or I got 4. Don't actually remember how many I've got now. I put it out in the yarn van because we had so much company come in that I didn't really want yarn that didn't have a cubby, if you know what I mean, all over the place. So I took it out there, and then I brought those ones back in to do a giveaway, and that's the point. So I have less because obviously I've put it in the giveaway. So yeah, if you haven't seen my giveaway, was the Sunday Fun Day giveaway, was for this yarn. So yeah, I don't have a great deal less. I mean, I think I might have bought 20. So it's enough to carry on and do this for longer if I wanted to. But I'm not sure what I'm doing it for. Didn't have a plan. I just started to, I did the swatch and thought, I like that, I'm going to carry on. Rather than just unpick it, you know, and waste it. It looked nice, so my fingers are not feeling it anymore. They're like, whoa, you know, you haven't crocheted in a little while. Stop it. Well, I have. I've been doing this, obviously, but not as much as usual. So, I don't know. Feels like a holiday out there, you know, when you go outside. The temperature just hits you like when you're abroad, and it's so hot on your skin. That's what it's like, and it's early. When we were out, it was 10 o'clock. It was really hot already. As soon as I came home, put that aircon on. It's crazy, really. It's nice though. We had the same sort of summer and spring during lockdown, which was really nice for us because, you know, we had the garden and we could walk around here, around the beaches and stuff. Not so nice if you lived in a flat, mind, and you couldn't even have a balcony, or you weren't meant to go out as such. So that must have been hell, but living here was just beautiful. And I spent quite a lot of time outside in the garden, but you know, this year, not been out there once. I've not really, I went out there for about 10 minutes and sat with Gary one evening. And other than that, not been out there at all. I've not been on the decking. I've not sat in my egg chair because I can't really get on it anymore. Where Gary's been doing work, it's a bit inaccessible. And so Gary's son's coming down. They're going to move the stairs to a more accessible place. They'll be on the side going upwards, obviously, but rather than at the front, they'll be at the side and go up, and then you just walk around, if you know what I mean. I think that's the plan, but it should mean as well they're not so steep. It's going to really upset Fluffy because, you know, that's her little domain. She sits there, lays there under a chair. She kind of commands that. It's her decking, and all of a sudden the stairs are going to disappear. She'll be like, what have they done to my house? Yeah, she just sits up there like the queen on high, looking down on us all. She won't like it. That cats really hate change. Some cats can't cope, and she's one of them. Then, you know, she'll have a bed which she doesn't use very often, and she'll get used to it, and you move it. I say, I'm not going in there. It's been moved. Just so fickle. Getting armache, handache. It's not like I only just rest it as well, so I suppose it's holding the yarn. Like there's a project rather that does it, and the fact that my arm was in the odd angle, I guess, put stress on it all. It doesn't happen when I'm sitting doing this of an evening, maybe watching TV. Oh, never mind, eh? I'll get over it. Big girl. So have you made any summer projects this year? I was going to do a hat, but I haven't done it yet. And I'm doing my picnic blanket crochet along. And yeah, I'm enjoying doing that actually. Once it's done, I'm going to keep it in the car so that it'll be there when I'll keep it in Gary's car because that's the one we go out in together mostly. It's only, if it's a distance, he might say, we'll take your car. Or if he wants me to drive home because he's going to have a drink, and then we'll go in my car. Oh, wow. Just so pretty. So I went into Kerry's live last night. I've been gifted a membership to Kerry, the Yarny Elephant. And so I went in and said hello, but I was supposedly on my way to bed. I got distracted and I had a little chat, and then I finally said, I'm going to go to bed now because I have to get up early really. And went to bed, couldn't sleep. And it wasn't because I'd gone into Kerry's live. I just couldn't sleep. And the reason for it was the night before last, like, you know, I hadn't slept because of my virus. So then the reason I couldn't sleep yesterday was because the night before I had slept too long because I'd had no sleep. And I didn't get up until 10:30. And it wasn't that I went to bed late either. I went to bed early. And I did wake up early to go to the little girl's room, but it was about 5 something. So I went back to sleep again. And the next thing I knew, it was 10:30. And so I thought, oh, that's too much sleep. So consequently, when it came time for bed, I wasn't having any of it. So I played Tetris for a while. Recently got back into Tetris. My son bought me a tin, and inside was a game of Tetris. It was a tin of Tetris. And I thought, I'll have a little go at that. When Paul was at Paul's party, the thing I bought him for his present was a Famicom. And it was that's the Japanese version of the Nintendo NES that he had when he was a kid. And then there was a little thing that's like you put it in and it's all the games. So he started playing on the games that he and Mike played when they were kids. And then a little later he put Tetris on. And he said to me, do you want to have a go? I said no. A, I felt ill, and B, I thought I can't sit on the floor. I mean, I could have stayed on the chair that I was on, but I just hadn't touched it for so long. I just thought, oh, used to be very good at Tetris, had a really high level, used to go extremely fast. And I stopped playing it because I started dreaming about it. And in my dream, the blocks were coming down really fast and going bling, bling. Seriously, no, I needed to stop playing it when I was starting dreaming of Tetris. And hearing the music in my dream and all the bricks coming down. So, you know, I decided that I wouldn't play for a while. And then years and years and years have gone by and I've not really played it much over the years, just the odd game here and there when it popped up. But so I thought, you know, get my little tin out and have a go. So I thought, I can't sleep. Where's Tetris? So I played that for a while. And then I came in here and thought, come on then, the square you want to make, let's get it done. So I started working on a square. And then I thought, you know what, I really do need to try and get some sleep. So at about 5 o'clock, I fell asleep and I got up at 8:30. Gary woke me at 8. I'd set my alarm for 8:30 though. So yeah, not much sleep really. It was bright out when I went to sleep, which is annoying. It might have been obviously a bit later than that. That's the time I went to bed, whether I actually got to sleep. So I haven't really had much, and I hopefully will sleep well tonight. You know, hopefully not one. I've set my alarm. I won't have one of those mega long ones that do it all over again. Oh, my voice is going a little bit. I've got a catch appearing on my finger, which is the way that wool reacts with my skin. It starts to make what look like chilblains, and I've been working with this for quite some time now, and I've not had anything like that. So if it is that or not, I have to keep my eye on it. And hopefully though, I don't have much left to do. If I don't do any more to it than this ball skein cake. Ball skein cake. Oh, I love this. It's so nice. I have no idea what I'm going to do with it though. You know, if I just kept going, I could keep it for me, but I don't know. I do not know. So the yarn I bought today, I figured I'd make a nice little blanket with it. Maybe a baby blanket. It is just beautiful. So yeah, that might be what I do. We'll see. Oh, just a brilliant idea. You love it when they pop in. I've had a brilliant idea. I do. Yep, that's what I'm going to do with it. Oh, you can tell that I'm feeling better. Ideas are popping into my head. Whereas before it was like, I can't think of anything. But woe is me. Well, maybe not woe is me. But, you know. Brain had stopped creating anyway. Only creating mucus. Tracy, that's disgusting. Oh, you really did not need to say that. There. I've got wet hair, guys. Yeah, might be dry now. Mucus. Naughty me. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Oh, the arm is getting achy again. My seat must be getting low. It does travel. It kind of gradually, the hydraulics start, I think it leaks. Just gradually starts to go down. Maybe my gargantuan backside is just a little bit too much for it. What do you think? I don't know. I don't have a gargantuan backside. I have gargantuan other areas, but not the backside. It's not that big. I'm disproportionate in my lower half, I have to say. Yeah, top heavy is the word. So I need to plan what I'm going to do diet-wise. I've been getting into the... Oh, I did that in my chat. I won't do it again. I've been getting into the teachings of a lady called Dr... No, Mindy. Dr. Mindy Peltz. P-E-L-Z. And I need to watch more Mindy videos and get a few ideas of how I'm going to do a bit of keto intermittent fasting. See, I did it myself years ago and it worked so well, but it was just I stumbled across doing the two together, and everybody was saying you can't do it. You can't intermittent fast with low carb because it would knock you out of the ratios, you know, the macros. And I was thinking, like, I'm still going to do it. So I went from losing 2 pounds a week, because by this time, remember, weight loss does slow down, from 2 pounds a week to 4, just by doing the 5-2 with it. But they're saying, oh no, you can't do it because you have to have your macros right, the right amount of fat, the right amount of protein and all that. And whenever I followed what these people said, my diet would plateau, because we're all built differently and you know what works for you and what doesn't. And if it doesn't work, you kind of look into it, don't you? But, you know, I kind of get dictated to by the groups that I belong to. I'll be thinking, you're not eating enough fat, you've got to do this. And I'm like, you do it, I don't. They'll be eating fat bombs and all sorts. But listening to Mindy, you can be strategic about the fasting and the fat bombs. And you know, the supplements you take can be maybe the apple cider vinegar, and, you know, make a little cocktail of things that will boost. So yeah, been watching quite intently. But I won't say I've been getting into a woman again. That was just a slip of a bit of a faux pas there, you know. Never mind. I guess everybody knew what I meant. I did say like I managed to get out. I got into a room, but I managed to get out. Oh dear, oh dear. It's one of those things that come out of your mouth without you kind of thinking of the words that you're using. Just drips off the tongue. But as low carb is the diet that's always worked better for me, I just feel like it's I just need to give it a shot, because I don't want to do the Monjaro or Zempic type stuff if I don't have to. Well, with all the latest things they're saying about it, maybe causing pancreatitis and all that stuff, and a greater risk of thyroid cancer, and you know I've had cancer in my life, so I don't really want any more. I mean, I know you can't pick and choose. If it's coming for you, it's coming for you, right? I know that, but I don't want to invite it. So, and previous to this, all I'd ever heard was how good it was for you, how good it was for your heart, how good it was for your liver, and all of that. So, you know, don't know what to do for the best, really. But if I could do it naturally, naturally is always the best way. Don't you think? I do. Well, if they could give me a pill for it and it would work and wouldn't cause anything, I'd say yes, please. But there is no magic pill in this world. No magic pill. So, just got to try and see if Mindy... Well, I know it works because, you know, as I said all those years ago, I did it without even anyone ever saying it was a good idea. Everybody was telling me it was a bad idea. You know, you won't be having the... You know, you'd have too many carbs, you won't have enough fats, you won't have... You can have protein, but you won't have enough fat. And I'm thinking, well, why am I losing 4 pounds a week rather than 2 pounds a week then? It did work. But as I got older, it is harder to lose weight, as we all know. Becomes harder. So anything that can help, I need to give it a go. And I'm getting very achy now. Look at that, isn't it beautiful? That is so good. I love it. So, do I get to the... Where am I up to? Oh, look, there's where I came in. I'll get to the end of this row because that's where my corner is. So I'll do that and then I will make my goodbyes, because that would be an hour. And I did say I would try to make them an hour long, because that's what most of you said you liked, hour long or more. So your wish is my command. Wow, muscle ache in my right forearm. It's only because I'm sitting in a funny way, I guess. Never mind. Yeah, Gary would like to join a gym, but I cannot cavort around a gym overweight. You know, I don't mind if I lost a bit and, you know, I knew it was a bit more energy and all that sort of thing, and I don't think I look ridiculous. But, no. Because, you know, you go in there and there's all the girls with the pumped up lips and pumped up bums, and, like, posing in their little skimpies. And then there's me sweating like a gigantic blob, with hair all over the place and a big fat t-shirt. Yeah, it is a real pain. It is. I used to go in there, you'd see them in their lovely, like, gym shoes. You know, that they're all just so perfect size, And then, oh god, another knot. Oh my god, I only got 2 in this one, not had 2 in any of them. I'm very good for this usually. Bumholes. That's as strong as I'm going to say. I think this one ball must have been a bit of an end, don't you? That's why it hasn't got all the colours in it, I think. So anyway, yeah, that was the one thing I used to hate about going. You know, you go because it's a function, they go because it's a photo opportunity and a way to meet fit guys. And what do they meet? This big, slobby, fat one, sweating all over them. You know what I hate when you go to the gym and you get off the seat and then you look and there's a puddle where you sat? I mean, that's natural, you know, everybody does that. You have to take like this little towel around with you and wipe it off. But you know it's only been wiped, hasn't properly been cleaned. You're sitting in someone else's sweat residue. It's disgusting. Disgusting. It is. Disgusting. Ideally, I'd need to win the lottery and have my own little gym and swimming pool. And then I wouldn't mind doing it because I'm not a spectacle. I know you're all going to tell me off and say, it doesn't matter, you know, what you look like. You should just don't worry about everybody else. And I know you're going to say it because I'm saying it in my head. But I still don't think it's a good idea until I've lost weight. I don't like being a spectacle. And not only that, I always feel it's too much pressure on your heart and strain. You know, you need to at least get a little fitter in yourself before you attempt to throw yourself around the gym, if you know what I mean. I am at my corner. I can't believe there was 2 joins in this one. There was none in most of them. I got the odd one little join. Right, there we go. I've reached the corner and I still love it, even though there was 2 joins in that one. It's beautiful. I think it might be big enough, you know. So I might use this pink part as the edging. There's quite a bit of the pink there. Not sure. I think the yellow would look lovely as a join. Maybe I'll go find myself some really pale yellow. What do you think? The pink would do too, but I think that yellow would just about set it off, especially as there's none in this top part. Then if I just managed to get a nice yellow, like in the centre, around the edge, I think that would look really, really nice. What do you think? Anyway, let's, oh, yeah, hello. Hello, how are you? I haven't seen you for a while. So yeah, thanks for watching. And let me know what you think about that, because I'd be interested to know your comments on the border. Whether you just go plump for white. White would look like, obviously, white. Or that's because I was doing the square. Oh goodness, a bit of a mess. So yeah, that would be white. Or whether I'd really think that yellow would snazz it up a bit. It's nice. Maybe I'll just get a bit of yellow out of another ball because I've got loads. And I feel like I'd be robbing that ball of its yellow. Makes no sense. Oh, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care. At least I managed to get through it without blowing my nose or cough fitting. So yeah, take care. Bye for now.